Cote d'Ivoire have been around. What can they bring that can spur them to the top?
I don't think it's fair to have me talk about Algeria. I think it would be easier given to Lydia because I'm officially a fan. After what I saw from them in the last tournament, it was just, it was a delight. They have that ability to play the game at the highest level, but still maintain the simplicity of fun and excitement. They have brilliant kickers, but more than anything, it looks like every single player is drilled to the highest level at their particular positions. You look at each player in the position they play and you don't think they should play anywhere else. We did talk about their captain, Yusuf. We did talk about Kaminati. There's a gentleman we did not talk a lot about, and I think he also pulled the plays a lot. That was Thomas Patrick Lacroix. I was very happy to see that he's back in the squad as well. So they definitely are a team that is well organized, well drilled. They know how to go through their paces. They kick for days. That said, when you take on Cote d'Ivoire is, for our friends who are from the foreign nations, I'm already checked in, there's something called Katogo here. They'll have a pick of everything and throw it in there. They'll play a physical game, and then a few minutes later, they'll compress the pitch, have you totally centered in there, and you're going scrum after scrum after scrum. Then they'll spread you out and then take you on nothing short of a wild goose chase. You will be chasing them for days. They have durability, they have tenacity. They might want to improve slightly more on their ball handling because I think that's where they got a few issues, as well as their discipline. It also bothered them. But they are very imaginative, and they don't play a single dimension game. They'll mix it all up, use both flanks well, call through the middle. They are comfortable in the scrums. They are very comfortable. I think they were the most comfortable team when it came to the line-outs, at least from my memory. So it's interesting to see what they choose to throw at a team like Algeria as opposed to what Algeria will throw at them.
You know, one of the things that you notice about this Cote d'Ivoire team is that they didn't score many tries.
Yes.
They didn't score many tries, just 7 in the entire tournament last year. It's something that's going to be a cause for concern for them. And some of the players were, you know, just standout players. And you're looking at especially Alexandra Pilati, who had the highest rating on the Ticini Tech data, and also with this matrix. Alexandra Pilati was on top of Cote d'Ivoire's game. I think Lydia has been the connoisseur of these things, of knowing numbers, of knowing where the key battles are going to be. Just would love to understand why and how Cote d'Ivoire seem not to be scoring a lot more, yet they play more exciting rugby.
So the Ivory Coast, nicknamed the Elephants, this particular fixture is going to be interesting. One, Ivory Coast has boosted up their team with some professional players.
Same as Algeria and Morocco from the south of Europe, in France maybe?
Yes, exactly. Looking at last year, that they still played Algeria versus Cote d'Ivoire. Algeria managed to win that particular fixture. And then now coming into this year, Algeria still has an edge. Just tapping back into the history of Algeria, Algeria came close. 2022, they were in the semi-final. They came short, still losing to Kenya.
Yeah.
Still last year, they played. They reached the semi-final.
So they are on their way up, you can say.
Exactly. And now looking at this year's boost with more professional players, there is one interesting player, Ryan Baker, also a World Cup winner in the under-20. He's also part of the squad. And also a few other players. They already touched down in Algeria. They started on their training. So it's going to be an interesting matchup, but Algeria has this one. I don't think Ivory Coast has an advantage on this.
Interesting. We'll now have two matches decided by Lydia. So, and I would love now to throw it to you, Jermaine.
And Senegal.
Conceding. she said Senegal will lose against Namibia. We'll dive deep into that match later, maybe early next week. Senegal will lose without scoring a point against Namibia. Now today is Zimbabwe, Morocco. Zimbabwe edging the new boys. And she has also added that
Algeria.
Algeria will come out on top. I get the feeling that 2022 semi-final, 2024 the final. Is it maybe now time to think about them as champions in 2025?
Possibly. They have all the makings and all the qualities that they have, that it takes for them to actually go ahead and pull it off at the very top level. I'm definitely counting them among my top 3 nations right from the onset. That said, there's a particular quality that Cote d'Ivoire do carry to this game, and that is the ability to break the line.
Yes.
They're very fluid at the line breaks. They actually did beat this very team, Algeria, at the line breaks. They had 5 compared to 3 that the Algerians had. That may be something that they might want to keep in mind. That said, they were atrocious when they came to playing on the flanks, and multiple times they kept on losing out on the line outs. So they might have to keep their game more on the physical aspect and still find a way to execute the line breaks. That's me telling you to go and stay at the same way. I don't know how they're going to do it, but they'll have to figure out a way to execute that. That said, their ball handling when it came to this particular game was much improved as compared to the other games. It might be something they would want to definitely keep within their ranks. And I think it had a lot to do with Mamadou Ouattara, the gentleman who was playing shirt 13. You could see him just there in the background, orchestrating a lot of those final ball deliveries. They'll have to count a lot on him to make sure that he can produce those moments that they need. But that said, I still think I might side with Lydia on this one. Might be a tall order for the Elephants.
Yeah, tall order it will be for sure, because I think about Algeria and the confidence that they come with into this tournament. They've beaten Kenya. They've beaten they've beaten Ivory Coast itself. So I think for them, we don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but the path in which they are is the path of Namibia, and this is a chance now to think about maybe this time defeating another big team that is on the African continent. But as a whole, I think first of all, this is the only team, this is the only fixture at the quarterfinals that we had last year. So there's going to be lots of knowledge about each other, lots of experience about each other. And even when they've brought in new players, there's a little bit of familiarity between them, unlike the other quarterfinals. And I think we might not be focusing. I want to say that we are not focusing on this fixture. It is the least talked about, to be honest, because you have Namibia, they've been to the World Cup the most. People are asking themselves if they will do it again. You have Zimbabwe, they are the defending champions, an exciting team to watch. They play against Morocco, the wild card of this tournament. And the other quarterfinal, of course, is the biggest derby on the African continent, Kenya versus Uganda. That's all everyone is talking about. But Algeria and Cote d'Ivoire could deliver the match that gets everyone on their feet. I think the distinct qualities that they bring, and then when you of course look at how their styles are a bit similar, they have big boys, they have big ball carriers. Algeria like to play short passes, move the ball around a lot. Cote d'Ivoire like to give it a go, each player give it a go. Those line breaks will be coming quite in. So I think that is one of those games which will excite. And if I were to be as strong as Lydia, I can say maybe this is going to be the most, this is going to be the high scoring match of the quarterfinal with both teams considered.
Producer, please take that on.
I think that's going to be, the other games are going to be measured. We shall have a 10-11 somewhere. But I think Algeria, Cote d'Ivoire is going to be one of those games which we could even see going to maybe a 30-22 or something like that, given so how not so close, but then both teams will have high scoring games. When you think about Zimbabwe and Morocco, it might be a bit low scoring. When you think about Uganda and Kenya, could be the same, maybe in their 20s, 20 and 17. Namibia and Senegal will be one-sided, I believe, but a high score for just Namibia. But this Algeria-Cote d'Ivoire game might be high scoring for all of them. I think.
Both teams are French-speaking countries. Yes. I'm looking forward to tapping into that. There will be a lot of French on that pitch, and a lot of passing of the ball. So that would be one interesting game. Like you dived right into it.
That's the beauty about African rugby, that we have such diverse cultures, you know.